Hi guys, today we'll be reviewing a new lens. If you watched my previous video, you guys will know what is up. I've recently bought the 50mm FE 1.8 prime lens. Now I've always wanted to own one of these Sony prime lenses as they'll probably have the best autofocus and be able to have the best motors for the native cameras. I have friends over here today and they are doing actually some static exercises. We'll be going over to shoot some of them doing some static as well as some movement exercises to see how well this autofocus does. If not, let's head on over. Alright, so they're actually here doing a set of static exercises. I'll be taking and see how many photos I can get the focus right on. Okay, so far I've noticed the lens is a little bit noisy on the focusing. As you can hear, that it actually hunts quite often, so the motos isn't the best, but I think it still managed to get at least 70% of the shots which I want to. Okay guys, so now we'll be doing a movement test. I'll be trying to photograph my friend over there when he's running over here to see how well the motor performs in terms of a running subject. If you come towards me, you can follow. In photo mode, when I took photos of the subject jogging towards the camera, I could barely get any shots in focus. I think it could largely be due to the A7 II camera which I'm actually having. In video mode, it did slightly better when I turned on continuous autofocus mode. Though it still struggles, but I do feel that it performs way better. So it's doing okay, it got a few more shots. Now let's see how it performs with the subject running away from the camera. Let's go! Now let's see if the autofocus performs better if the subject is moving away from the camera. From the photo mode, I would say it does slightly better, getting 3 out of 10 shots in focus. In video mode, it does way better, getting focus about 70% of the time. Now that we're back in the studio, before you guys think that this lens is quite trashy due to its autofocus, here are some of the better shots which I managed to capture. Now let's talk about its pros and cons of the lens. But before that, just a disclaimer. As you guys know, I'm having an A7 II camera over here, and it isn't the latest or the greatest camera body. Now if you have a much better camera body such as the A7 III or A7 R4, you'll definitely get much better results. My A7 II compared with newer models will lack in contrast and face detection points, which will matter a lot if you are shooting moving subjects. So this is something I recently found out watching other channels reviewing the same lens. If not, let's move on to its pros and cons. Now the first pro is actually its weight. Now the lens itself comes in about 185 grams or about 0.4 pounds. It's probably one of the lightest lenses of the full frame line that you can find. With its lightweight comes a small profile. Once I remove the hood over here and put next to my kit lens, you can see there's actually at least a 25% difference in size. And the kit lens to me is already very small. But if you're curious to the exact height of this lens, it comes in at about 68mm or 2.7 inches. Number 3 is its price. It's really cheap, coming at about 190 USD. Even though you can't zoom with this lens, you can actually get really nice subject separation with it at an aperture of f1.8. When I show you guys up close, you can see that the lens has quite nice glass elements. Now before I move on to the cons, if you guys enjoyed this video, do give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Now the cons. Number 1 is its noisy motors. If you are shooting video or recording sounds using this lens, it will be quite audible. The lens creates this mechanical sound due to it trying to hunt for the subject. Which conveniently leads us to our second point, which is its slow autofocus. The autofocus of this lens is quite known to be not the best, as it takes more time than my kit lens to lock onto subjects. But as I've mentioned, if you have a newer camera body such as A7 III, you'll get a little bit better in terms of its autofocus using this lens. Number 3 is the material. If we see up close, you can see that it's made of a plastic, and once I knock on it, you can clearly hear that it's not made of a high quality metal. So if you're planning to use this for rough outdoor usage, don't expect this to last long. Now let's conclude. Do I recommend this 50mm lens? I do. This lens is really cheap and gives you such a nice subject separation for the price that you're paying. The bokeh is really nice, especially if you are shooting stationary portraits. If you can look beyond its flaws of its autofocus and noisy motors, this lens is very good and is really cheap. Heck, if you spoil one, you can just get another one without burning a hole in your pocket. What do you guys think about this lens? Are you planning to get one? Leave me down in the comments below. I've done other gear reviews, so do check out my playlist over here. If not, I'll see you guys in the next video.